I want to continue this thread of there being different kinds of Tim Burton movies.
Yeah.
Because even though he has a very distinct voice, a very distinctive style, you could divide his movies into a lot of different subcategories. And so, I mean, thinking about Ed Wood, and I think maybe Big Fish might fit into this category as well, that seems like a different... Do you guys feel like that's maybe a different kind of Burton?
I felt Big Fish is the anomaly. It's probably one of his strongest story-focused movies. It was a sweet, simple story. I gotta look up who wrote that, see if he's worked with that writer.
He did, I think. John August, I think. I think he worked with him a couple times. Yeah.
When I look at Big Fish and I look at the other movies he did, it really sticks out. I mean, it's not even so much a Tim Burton movie to me.
No.
I watched Ed Wood again recently, and I haven't seen Big Fish. But going back to what you said earlier, Ed Wood definitely comes across as more character-driven than story-driven. It's taking this oddball kind of person and seeing, and not necessarily putting him through the ringer, but just seeing what happened to him.
Yeah.
What are all the weird things he did? Who are all the people he met? And from what I remember of Big Fish, I've seen parts of it, but never watched it like start to finish. That's sort of the same thing. It's the dad telling his stories, and it's through these stories that his son comes to know him.
Right. Well, both of those movies felt very... They didn't feel like Gothic to me, necessarily.
No.
And, much as I like to see filmmakers, just, go crazy with their eccentricities, I kind of liked the more conventional feel of Ed Wood in Big Fish. I feel like, especially with Ed Wood, you've got this wacky credits sequence, with the gravestones and stuff. And then after that, you're kind of just in like a sort of a normal movie that almost feels like it could have been made a long time ago, with the black and white.
I think that's him knowing when to ease up on the gas, when to not use so much of his style in this story, trying to wed the style with the subject matter well.
Yeah.
Because sometimes he can go both ways. Because Ed Wood, it's not super gothic, but it's definitely, he loves old Hollywood, and it's supposed to be that. It's supposed to be evocative of that, and that works. Whereas you go down the timeline a little bit, you go to Sweeney Todd, super gothic,
yeah,
totally, and it's perfect. It's this great marriage of style and subject, and it works.
It seems in a way like Ed Wood, the character, is a pretty close companion of, Sweeney Todd, the character, and Edward Scissorhands, the character.
Misfit among weirdos.
Yes, yeah.
Ed Wood is a strange guy. He wanted to make movies, but didn't exactly know how.
Yeah. Well, I love that, in the movie he takes himself so seriously. Like, he thinks he's the next Orson Welles.
He wants to be the next Orson Welles, and he's trying to be, and I don't know if he ever sees himself as achieving that, but he's trying.
Yeah.
But the Hollywood machine and the Hollywood industry is just, everyone's trying to bring him down. There's the producer who admits, I make crap. So there's there's Bela Lugosi, who's a great friend, but theatrical and self-involved, and he's a drug addict, and he's got all these things going on, and all these people who don't know what to make of Ed Wood, but they just kind of go along with him.
Right.
His film production staff were just like, yeah, he likes to dress as a woman when he's directing. All right, we're still getting paid.
There was some it was kind of interesting, watching the scenes of Ed Wood directing, and I don't think he ever responds to a scene with anything other than perfect.
They said the things I wrote. That's great.
Yeah. It was kind of funny, like watching that and thinking, like, I cannot imagine Tim Burton being like that. Like, I really see Tim Burton as like a guy who obsesses over every frame.
Well, he gets good performances out of his actors.
He does,
He's great at
yeah.
casting, great at directing actors.
Yeah, I'm sure there is one, but I can't think of a bad performance in any of the Tim Burton movies.
Well, that's
I've seen.
because he's character focused.
Yeah,
He
well,
wants
yeah.
he wants to get the performance into that character so much, right? That's probably why his performances are so good. Well, his character performances, anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe it has something to do too with the fact that he's so open to eccentricity, you know, and he'll write these strange characters and really focus on them, like you said, and it gives the actors more to play with, you know.
I just had a terrifying thought. What if Tim Burton ever directed Nicolas Cage?
I think the screen
Wait.
would just implode.
Has Nicolas Cage ever been in his movies?
I don't think so.
I don't think he has. I think
No.
just the projector would burst into flame.
Oh,
and
yeah.
pop it.
Yeah, well, Nicolas Cage's eyeballs would pop out of the screen and fall in our laps, you know?
Nicolas Cage is so weird. I mean, we're going on a tangent here.
Oh, yeah.
How can he be so perfectly cast in Kick-Ass and then suck everywhere else?
I
I don't get it.
It kills me. He's so talented and he's
I
wasted.
think
I know,
some people
right?
just don't know how to use him right.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's a strange. He's not just a great actor. He's a strange persona, kind of like Johnny Depp, actually.
Nice segue. A plus work.
Boom.